The subprime lending crisis suggests that the quality of the performance of credit rating agencies has been suboptimal. They did not make a relevant distinction between the level of risk of the different securities. They gave AAA ratings too easily. They did not degrade mortgage securities when the residential real estate market and thus the value of the underlying mortgage bonds deteriorated. They then exacerbated the crisis by reacting with large-scale degradation only after the market collapse. Too hard in the case of the European sovereign debt crisis, many political actors and observers accused the three major agencies by assigning the radius of worsening the crisis and in particular or of precipitating the fall of troubled states such as Spain, Portugal, Italy, or Greece, or blindly monitor markets or attempt to directly influence national or European policies. At the end of April 2010, the downgrade of the ratings of Greece, Portugal, and Spain and its disastrous impact on the financial markets provoked the ire of the European Commission, the International Monetary Fund, and several political figures. Since then, every new threat of degradation has provoked outrage from senior European officials. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel said in July 2011, with regard to the Greek bailout, it is important that we, the European Commission, the International Monetary Fund, and the European Central Bank, do not allow ourselves to be deprived of our freedom of judgment by rating agencies. The example on Greece is elegant. Although Greece concealed until 2009 the real weight of its debt, the agencies were unable to anticipate the consequences of the country's increased public debt, its loss of competitiveness, and the weakness of its tax system, and thus ultimately the risk of the country defaulting. Fitch Ratings, Moody's, and Standard and Poor's overreported Southern European countries in the 2000s because they believed that their membership in the Eurozone reduced the risk of default associated with them. The agency waiting period gave way in 2009 to several downgrades in the Greek note in just a few months, which significantly increased Greece's difficulties in financing itself in the bond market, even as its government imposed binding fiscal consolidation efforts on population. Judge and parties and securitization. Rating agencies have played a crucial role in securitization, a financial technique that transforms politicized assets, for which there is no real market, into easily tradable securities such as bonds. Agencies note packages or securitize credits and bond issues in return for different risk tranches. In retrospect, most observers argue that agencies have been given too generously AAA rating the high score on securitized packages. This contributed to the formation of the speculative bubble. Without the rating, the actual risk would probably have been better understood and the euphoria would have been less. Then, when the real estate market turned around, the agencies did not properly and timely downgrade mortgages securities. They reacted too late and with brutal degradation, which exacerbated the crisis. Explanation of the failure. Conflict of interests. Agencies are paid by those they note. In recent years, rating in these transactions, called structured product ratings, have accounted for up to 50% of their turnover. In addition, as the number of clients is quite limited, agencies may have found themselves in a position of dependence on their clients. Unfortunately, the agencies are not very expert in assessing credit risk and liquidity risk, which should have been at the heart of their analysis. Traditionally, banks have assessed credit, liquidity, and general economic risk. In 2000, how to limit the impact of the interest on the agencies. In 2012, Sean Egan, the CEO of a new rating agency, Edgar John's Rating, promoted that his agency was not following the issuer pay model, but the old investor pay one. The actual model of agencies being paid by issuers following an inflated rating. The opening of a public agency administered by the state called an independent rating agency, not scared of losing customers and could grant a better quality rating. However, a public company will be independent but territorial and could favor those companies.